Well, I woke up with a bangover, goddamn. Yesterday, my band played the Bleed for the Cause charity event. It was a metal show slash wrestling event slash charity event. Metal and violence all for a good cause. And it was a lot of fun. The show was really great. Me and the band had a really good time. But by our about third or fourth song, I was going crazy as I normally do. And I pulled some muscle in my shoulder that has left me in a lot of pain ever since that moment. So right now, I feel like I was run over by a cement truck while getting punched by a gorilla. Remember, death metal singers out there, never skip your morning yoga. But so this morning I came across this video. From Loudwire called Singers Don't Do This Before Going on Stage. And some of you out there have asked me for tips on how to do death metal vocals. So I thought this could be fun to go over. I haven't watched it yet, and we'll see what commentary or jokes I have to add along. Basically, I thought this would be a good way to make easy content. So headbang the like button, stage dive onto the subscribe button, and windmill the video to your friends. And if you're a fan of my channel, consider becoming a member. Memberships are only 99 cents a month, and everyone really helps me toward my goal of building a life-size Godzilla to invade Canada. Alright, Loudwire, what should I not do? See how many of these I have done before. One thing I recommend for every singer before going on stage is warming up. Don't go up there completely raw. That's gonna be all types of problems. Practice at least one of your songs beforehand.
A singer should never do before going on stage. I think I would be a hypocrite if I told you anything, because I definitely I've heard, okay, don't go smoking before you go on stage.
Whoa now. Don't tell me how to live my life. I definitely think you probably shouldn't smoke cigarettes right before going on stage. Also, one thing, don't do dabs before going on stage. You will have a bad show. It might sound like fun. It's not going to be fun. I never did that for an actual show, but I did for a band practice, and I was just sitting on the floor.
Toured with bands, and I've seen bands ripping cigarettes right before they walk out on stage, and they sound phenomenal. So
Dark Insanity does have a habit of smoking weed and vapes before going on stage. It's never really been a problem for us. Not that you should do it.
I think you need to know yourself as a singer. If you're if you get dried out easily, maybe smoking a bowl before you walk on stage isn't the best thing.
As different for everybody.
Caffeine and alcohol dry you out, but knowing yourself. So if you're a singer and you know that you have an issue with this or that, then probably avoid things that exasperate that. Yeah.
You should try to be in your best shape before performing a show. I think the worst for me I ever did was the night before a concert. I got super drunk. This was obviously back when I drank. And the day of the show, I was so fucking hungover. I tried to force myself to drink more alcohol because I thought getting re-drunk would be less painful than how hungover I was at the time. That was a rough show, but there was nobody there, so that was fine. So I don't recommend being absolutely fucking plastered for hours before going on stage. You're not Motley Crue.
Like I said, I'd be a hypocrite if I said don't drink before you go on stage, because I like to loosen up a little bit before
I get loosening up. I used to do that before going on stage when I would drink a drink or two. I'm not saying don't do that. That can add to the performance. I'm saying don't be wasted.
I, on a pretty regular basis, do fresh raw ginger every morning.
That's one thing I've heard that helps.
I also do the thing they call golden milk, which is turmeric, black pepper, spices with like coconut milk. I warm it up in the morning with some hot honey.
What kind of fucking witchcraft are you doing? I haven't done anything like that.
Yeah, dude, it's magic for me. Everyone's got their thing.
All right.
But to me, that and also just sleep. Sleep is the number one.
That is probably the most important one, actually. Just making sure your body is healthy. I would have done way better at that show if I had slept normally and not been partying the night before. But if you have a big show coming up, make sure you get good amount of rest. Like, I know bands, when they have a big show, they will take it easy the night before.
One thing for your voice, you have to get a good night's sleep. So it's that and just taking care of yourself, not being a party animal. If you drink a couple nights in a row, you're going to start hearing it for sure, especially if
you really are, yeah.
You're doing melodic vocals, it'll show up. So you got to learn to relax and not party like a maniac and get your rest and take care of yourself. Stay hydrated.
Ooh, something.
Staying hydrated is a big one. I am always chugging a lot of water. I don't really have getting a dehydrated problem. But, I mean, it does happen even yesterday when we were playing, like third or fourth song, I have a bottle of water. I'm like, fuck, I have to keep grabbing going to it. It is not weak to have to drink water on stage if you're going crazy.
Thing extreme metal vocals should never do before going on stage is rip those disgusting hot dabs out of
I completely agree 100%.
your high school dab rig
Your dirty ass dab rig that's all brown and shit, look like you're smoking meth, and you take out the butane torch. Save that for after your performance. The guitar and bass player, they can get away with it if they know their limit. Singer, no. Wait until after you get off stage to do a dab, if you're gonna do that. But I mean, vape pens, it might not be a problem, you know.
And just cough and just smooth out your throat, and then you go up there and you sound like Marge Simpson, and it's all bad.
For me, it's not sounding like Marge Simpson, but it's if we're at band practice, if I do take like a big rip off of a vape pen and then we start right away, I'm just still like coughing and I can't get as much air into my lungs, and it's not as fun as it seems to be. So space it out a little bit if you're gonna partake in the California cabbage.
Okay, singers probably should never do cocaine before.
I've never done that. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I haven't done that.
I'm not kidding.
No, because that would be awful. Oh, because it'd be so like raggedy in the fucking, what is it called? That feeling in your throat afterward. Trying to sing with that would be awful. Oh my God.
I mean, look, I can't speak for anybody else. There's people who've done things, and I just scratch my head and go, like I heard Mike Patton, who's an incredible singer, you know, he can eat like a big steak, like an hour before the gig, and I'm like, what?
That wouldn't bother me. Yeah. A lot of people will say that they prefer to go on stage on an empty stomach and then eat after. I'm complete opposite. I want to go on stage, not like overstuffed full, but shortly after eating is much better for me. Otherwise, I'll be in pain. But some people do prefer less food or no food before going on stage.
Because like I always try to go like 3 or 4 hours before going on stage after eating. So, but I mean, he can do it. I would never advise eating a big meal before performing, you know, in a...
Because you get all bubbly inside. You're trying to perform it. I don't think I've had that at a show, but I've had band practice before where you're like going for a line, then all of a sudden, and you're like, whoop.
rock show, because, you know, you're just going to be bloated and gas and burping and...
Yeah, that, but I mean, like, I wouldn't eat a full rack of ribs seconds before going on stage, but...
So that's certainly something I would advise not to do. But as, again, I said, everybody...
Cocaine and steak before every show. 10 minutes before going on stage, you'd get a nice T-bone steak and you sprinkle it with cocaine. And then do a dirty-ass dab. You'll be good to go.
has their own abilities and techniques. And Mike Patton, as far as I'm concerned, is like one of the coolest singers in the last 40 years. So if it works for him... Maybe I should eat a big filet mignon at the next show and see if it works.
One I always remember hearing was Ronnie James Dio. His warm-up for every show was a beer and half of a joint, according to Scott Ian. But you should never think that you're the exception. Dio was the exception. He was a god in hobbit form. So he could go on stage with just a drink and a joint and sound like 1,000 angels. You were probably not Dio. You probably need to practice a lot. I had to practice a lot before I had any confidence at all to get near stage. Practice, train yourself, don't assume like, I got it. That's my biggest piece of advice, is don't think that you're hot shit if you haven't put any work into it at all.
Don't eat anything, nothing, no food, at least for some hours before. Lots and lots of water, but do not eat. That's my advice.
Contrary to popular belief, I was told whiskey is actually good for your voice, so if you want to take a shot, maybe it's mostly for the nerves, I don't know.
It would help, like, calm nerves, loosen you up. It would help loosen your throat a little. Like, you wouldn't want to rely on it. But if you were completely, like, nothing and had to go on stage, I could see, like, doing a shot before going on. But vocal warm-ups was a lot more recommended than a shot of whiskey. But, I mean, if you're in a pinch.
But, yeah, no milk, probably, before the set. That'd probably be good.
That's probably would make sense. Milk was a bad choice.
Yeah, just make sure you're hydrated and rested, and, that's probably it. I've heard clear liquor is bad, but like that the thicker syrupier stuff is what's recommended, like a Tennessee honey or whiskey or something. I don't know. Fireball was...
I always just drank like normal beers and shit, so I can't really comment on that one.
One of my friends' go-to. Now I can't even smell it. Yeah, no Fireball for me.
I don't drink anything cold while I'm on stage or right before. Like
a lot of people recommend that. A lot of music teachers will say to drink like a room temperature water. I personally keep drinking ice cold water. It's never affected me at all. But most vocal teachers will tell you room temperature because the cold can affect your vocal cords. But I'm just better, I guess. I don't know.
I just drink room temperature water, and I just do that during the show, and then before I drink coffee pretty heavily. So I have to be honest. it's just a natural thing. I don't warm up and I don't do anything after, so I just do it. Yeah.
Some people just go up and do it. Some people have a warm-up routine. I have like a 10, 13-minute routine I like to do. I'm not gonna lie, I don't do it before every single practice, but I do notice a difference when I do it as opposed to when I don't.
It's just what happens, man. I don't know how it fucking came to be, but it just is what it is.
A singer should never eat a big meal before going on stage because you will burp up your meal the entire show, and it is annoying. So I don't eat.
Yeah, I could see if you had like a big-ass thing of pasta and they went to go on stage.
Eat like 4 or 5 hours before I sing because I don't want to burp up my burrito.
I would say if you're going to go on stage, do not eat super spicy food. I cannot imagine that that's going to be very good for your vocal cords.
I can't imagine that would be either, unless you're like god levels of you go on hot ones and just demolish. I would not be able to handle that.
If you get anything coming up, that's probably going to be a bad time. Gotten a little more loose with my level of strictness with performing, where I'll take a shot or two before performing. And that actually loosens me up to the point where I feel like I can kind of like relax a little bit.
Yeah.
I get very, very, very hyper focused and technical when I'm on stage. And it allows me to loosen up at least a little bit so that I can have fun and not think too much about performing and singing my parts.
That's how I felt when I would have a drink or so before going on stage. Now just action, time to go.
So even having a drink or two before stage, I don't think that's off the table. But probably like super spicy food or just eating anything really heavy before you go on stage, probably a bad idea.
So you should have a pitcher of Fireball with a T-bone steak that's marinated in cocaine before going on stage, and do jumping jacks.
That's my main thing.
You should never smoke before going up. That's one of the worst things you could do for your voice as a vocalist. Not just for sonic reasons, but also health reasons. It dries you out. You run the risk of further dehydration and other problems as well. And I just can't do it. I avoid that. There was one show I smoked before in my old band, and Tom Barber from Chelsea Grin, he and I did this, and it was my first time doing that, and I told him I didn't know how I felt about it, and I hated it. Worst experience ever.
Smoked what, though?
I'll never do that again. I lost everything. Lack of power, lack of range, everything.
He was high. Okay, yeah. So he smoked weed for the first time is what he's saying. I remember my first joint.
Wasn't coming out how it was supposed to sound, and just the energy of being in the show was not there.
He was high as fuck.
It felt like I was in my bedroom doing it.
See? That would be so awkward. I don't have that same problem. I'm a little more experienced maybe, but that would be awkward as shit. You're just on stage.
By myself. It just was not the vibe.
I'll say the one thing I did once and never did again was get a wine buzz before a show. Jeremy will
I've never done that one.
drink, our singer and guitar player. He drinks wine and plays shows. I know the Silverstein guys are big wine dudes, and they'll drink. I don't know that Shane does, but like Bill and Paul Mark. But for me, I drank wine before a show once, and I never did it again. Could not have a belly and throat full of wine and then fucking yell. Like,
with all that sugar, too. Yeah, that'd be gross.
That was a... Just burning fucking alive up your throat, and just like the indigestion and like... that point in your esophagus that you use, like that muscle that you use.
I know exactly what he's talking about. His spot right here is always when, especially when I'm projecting my vocals, it's kind of like a muscle right here. Yeah, if you're having like gross ass wine kind of backing up right then, I know exactly what he's talking about. It's disgusting.
Scream, like not using your throat, but using your like
diaphragm.
The area between like your chest and your gut was just like, it felt like there was a burr in my stomach, or like, I don't know, just like acid bad.
Just like constant acid reflux the entire set. That sounds horrible.
Bad.
So the one thing a singer should never do before walking on stage
is be on time, because singers go by singer time. It's not cool to show up on time.
Wow. Smoke a cigarette, unless, unless that's your thing, I don't, There's no way. The idea of even being around people that smoke, sometimes they'll hit me right in. I'm like, you know, it just chokes me up, you know. Or drink cold water. Cold water instantly shrinks your like vocal cords. It just shrinks it up.
See, that is true, but it doesn't seem to bother me. I don't know. Give it a shot, and if cold water messes with you during a show, then switch to room temperature. But
So warm water or room temperature water. So
I saw the guy from
what the fuck?
The guy from Drive-By Truckers. I think he has a drinking problem. He said, practice that's the best way to ruin a fucking show. You want to break a band up, you practice. And I thought to myself, I like that guy. I don't know. I mean, probably you shouldn't eat. Like one time, I drank 17 Vietnamese iced coffees. That was not a good idea.
Goddamn.
I had to have a paramedic come because I thought I was having a heart attack. Don't do that. You probably shouldn't eat a lot. I do that all the time, too, by mistake.
So don't almost die before going on stage. Got it.
Because eating makes me feel better about who and what I am.
Same. I think those were some pretty good advices on what not to do before going on stage as a vocalist. So basically, today's lesson, kids, is don't smoke anything you're not used to before going on stage. Make sure you're hydrated and well rested. Make sure you're taking care of your body. And I would say be prepared and confident in yourself while not being too serious. Don't be so analytical that you're not having fun or not giving the performance that you would like to see. But the best advice for vocalists out there before going out on stage is don't suck. Follow me for more tips. For more from me, check out my band Dark Insanity. You can find our debut EP, Rabid Psychosis, available now on all streaming platforms. And October 16th, we are playing with Carnivore AD at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood. Hit up me or the band for tickets. We've got Wyatt's Metal and Dark Insanity merch available now in my shop. We've also got hoodies, hats, buttons, stickers. We even have Dark Insanity weed bags. Link is in the description of this video. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.